everyone, it's Vicky here. So for today's recipe we're going to do a chicken pie, but it's not just got chicken in it, it's got a few other things in it that I've just decided to throw in there from what's in the fridge. So this is a good example of how to use up things in the fridge to make a nutritious and delicious meal. The first thing we need to do is prepare some potatoes, and it's just about 5 sort of smallish potatoes that all I've done is peeled them and cut them into these sort of small bite-sized pieces. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some salt in there, and then I'll pour on some boiling water and parboil them for about 10 minutes just to start them cooking, and then they can be added into our pie. So we'll just set the timer. So this recipe calls for 3 leeks, but I've got some quite skinny ones, so I'm going to use 5. And all we need to do, I've already topped and tailed them and stripped the outer leaves off. We need to just prepare them. So I'm just going to slice them into rings, and these will be going in the pie. So we've got chicken and leek to start us off with. Okay, so that's all the leeks chopped, and I'm going to put them in a colander and give them a wash, because the thing with leeks is that they obviously grow in the ground and there's often dirt in between the layers, so it's really good to just give them a good old wash and get any dirt out that might be lurking in between those layers. So there we go, there's all our leeks. I'm just going to give those a wash now. So as this is a chicken pie, we need a couple of chicken breasts. I've got 2 sort of medium-sized chicken breasts here, and I'm just going to cut this again into bite-sized pieces, because that's what we want in our pie. And then I'm just going to coat them in some flour, and I've got a plate here with about 2 teaspoons of plain flour on it, which I'm just going to use to coat these, because I'm going to pre-cook everything that goes in the pie, which obviously makes it a lot easier when it comes to cooking it. Here we know that everything is going to be cooked and ready to eat. So I'm just chopping these into manageable pieces. Take that bit out. You get a chance to trim any inedible bits as well while you're doing this. So there we have all the chicken chopped. Now I'm just going to put it in the flour and coat it in the flour. This will also help to thicken the sauce that we're going to make to go with the ingredients. So there we go. So that's the chicken already. So I'm going to cook off the leeks now. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of oil into the pan, and then when that's heated up a bit, we will add the leeks and just saute them until they're soft. Okay, and obviously it looks like a lot at the moment, but by the time it's cooked down, they'll have shrunk a bit. So let's put these in. You hear them sizzling. I'm just going to leave them for about 3 minutes so they can soften, and then we'll add the chicken. So that's 3 minutes, the leeks are cooking and they are starting to soften. So now I'm going to add the chicken into there, and into that I'm also going to add a couple of ladles of the water from the potatoes, because also this is also going to help to thicken because of the starch that's in there. There we go, a bit more. So there we go, and we're going to leave that to cook off in there. I'll just pop a lid on. In fact, I'm going to bring it to the boil and then give it 10 minutes simmering before I add the rest of the ingredients. Next thing we're adding is some mushrooms. I've just got 3 here, and again these were just things that were left in the fridge. Could I have a cloth? That do. Yep, thank you. Just going to brush them, get the bits of dirt off. There we go. Oops. Thank you. And then I'm going to slice them, thin slices. And then we'll add them to the chicken mixture that's currently cooking. And I'm also going to add in the potatoes at this point because they need to just warm through. They're already virtually cooked. So let's pop the mushrooms in. There we go. And then finally I'll pop in the potatoes that we cooked earlier. And this is going to be our pie filling. I'm going to add some flavourings and seasonings when this is completely cooked through. And then we'll put it together as a pie. There we go. So I'm just popping the lid on and leaving it for about 10 minutes to cook through. So now it's time to add our seasonings, and we're going to give it a bit of pepper, a bit of salt, and you can make sure you taste it and check it's what you want. Let's stir. Then I'm going to add, now you can add a couple of tablespoons of creme fraiche, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to use milk just to give it a bit of a creamy flavour. Okay, and then I'm going to add some mustard, and I've got whole grain mustard here, and I'm just going to check. 1 tablespoon of this goes in, and this gives it a nice sort of bit of bite. And whole grain mustard's not as spicy as normal mustard, so that's good. And then I've got some parsley that I have chopped already, and if you've seen my recipes before, you know I keep it in the freezer, chop it and keep it in the freezer. So I've always got some freshly chopped parsley that goes in. Okay, and we'll mix that around and just make sure that everything is all combined. And this is our pie filling. Can you see that? So we've got all the leeks are all cooked, they're all coated in all the ingredients in there. There's the chicken in there and the potatoes. So making this into a pie means that we don't need anything else to go with it, maybe a serving of vegetables or salad on the side. So let's just have a little taste. That's quite tasty. Perhaps a little bit more salt, I think we can put in there. There we go. Just give it a stir. And a final taste. Always taste your food. It's always really important to taste your food before you serve it. That's perfect. So all I'm going to do now is get my oven dish and my pastry and make it into a pie for you. So we're going to put the filling into the dish, so you just need an oven-proof dish. In it goes. It's going to just have the pastry on the top. So there we go. Waste not, want not. Thank you. There's our pie filling, chicken and leek with potatoes and mushrooms and a bit of mustard for seasoning. And like I say, if you want to make it creamier, use creme fraiche, or if you don't have any creme fraiche, just some milk. And then I'm going to put the pastry on the top of there. Now, if you saw my video on how to make puff pastry. This is it. Okay, if not, you can just buy a sheet of it from the supermarket. There we go. Just place the lid on like that, and I'm going to just tuck it down, and this will all puff up. So I think we'll just trim it. Some kitchen scissors. There we go. Just neaten it off a bit around the edge. You could even make individual little pies with this. You don't have to make one big one if you don't want to. There we go, that's perfect. And then I'll just snip a couple of air holes in the top so that the steam can come out. And then all we've got to do is just brush the top with some milk, or you could use a bit of beaten egg. And then this will go in the oven. And I do apologise, I forgot to tell you to light your oven at the start, because obviously having an Arga, I don't have to remember to do that. But you will want to, yeah, I forgot to tell you to light the oven. So with something like this, because the ingredients are already cooked, you don't need to worry about having those cooked. You just need to worry about getting the pastry cooked. So for something like this, it's gas mark 6, which I think in electric is about 200. And in the Arga, I'm going to put it on the base of the roasting oven on the shelf on the floor of the oven. So there we have that. Let's just pop it in, and it will take about 20 to 25 minutes, but obviously you know your oven, so just check so it doesn't burn. And there's your pie. I've just fetched the pie out of the oven. You didn't really want to see me wrestling with it, I nearly dropped it. But here it is. As you can see, the pastry is lovely and golden, and I can just about tell that the layers have come up beautifully, and in there is all that lovely filling. So there you have it. Chicken, leek and whatever else I had in the fridge pie. Hope you try it and enjoy it. Bye for now.